So, do you guys remember last episode when I said that I wanted this to be a weekly thing? Isn't it isn't it like really funny when you really believe that you're going to do something and then you just don't do it, you know? I I think that's kind of funny. Um but seriously, what happened was um it just so happened that I said that at a time when I was starting to get kind of burned out of Minecraft. Because I'd been playing it for a while when I decided to start making the series. And then, you know how things go. You get tired of something, you have to take a break and revisit it sometime later. Well, uh, it was poor timing on my part, but um, just so you guys know, I never plan on abandoning this series. This world is very precious to me because it's the first world that I've had and maintained for a decent amount of time. I've had many Minecraft worlds in the past, and they've never really lasted a very long time. But this one I plan on keeping with me for a long time, into the foreseeable future. So, no matter whether or not you do hear from me in a given month, I am going to continue this series at some point in the future, unless I'm like dead or something. Anyways, now that that's over with, because, I just had to get that out of the way. It was far too pressing a matter to just leave hanging. Um, it has been a while since I've last updated you guys, but it has not really been a while since the last time I've played. I have been playing a little bit, by myself, which, as I've heard from many popular YouTubers, is an important consideration in keeping your interest in a world, not just, making it like a job or anything. There have been a few changes, namely, as you can see, I have been extending the wall. The wall is now massive, and it is my pride and joy right now. Um, in fact, you can definitely see it on the map. It goes all the way across here, and now it's starting to turn and come down here. And now, I've taken an image of my map, which I'll get to in a second, and I have drawn on it, and this entire forest biome right here is pretty much my plans for this kingdom area, which, looking at it, it's very large, but I've already committed efficient deforestation around here, and I plan on committing it over the entire area. But that is actually on my menu for today, is kind of going back and reversing some of that, because oh my god, it's very ugly out in the open here, and I'm kind of getting tired of just walking around in an empty field. That being said, it's going to require some other forms of landscaping in order to even begin to do that, but that's kind of what I'm interested in today. I'm interested in more of the outdoor stuff. So the first stop on our journey is the White House. Or, I mean, the White Manor, sorry. It's not actually the White House, the presidential building, no. My chests have been reduced. I have my valuables up here so that they're in a separate location from the rest of my stuff, should a creeper explode on it. But I have created an actual storage room. Now there is very minor room for expansion. I suppose I could put more chests and barrels on top. But other than the expansion aspect, should I ever need it, it is a very comprehensive storage room, and I'm actually very happy with it. But it took a long time to get all this stuff sorted out. And even still, it's kind of, it might be a bit more than I'd really need, but I'm pretty happy with it. It serves my purposes very well. There are still some empty spots, but they can be filled with future updates, or if I ever actually you know, like acquire things that I don't currently have. Back here, there's more of the niche stuff, because these stacks are kind of cramped. But you can definitely tell these might not be as thought through. Like containers, why do I need a whole chest for containers? I guess for shulker boxes, but those should probably honestly be moved because they're very valuable. And back here is a bunch of the stuff that I don't really intend on using very often. Minecarts and rails. I don't know where I got all these, honestly, but... And then horse armor and saddles and music discs, you know. A bunch of stuff that isn't used as often. Now, other than just my storage room, there's also something else I want to show you guys. And I'm kind of proud of it, but I'm worried it might stick out as opposed to the two other things that I've built here so far. But in the end, I think I'm just going to keep it because I'm actually really proud of it. Bam! The bamboozler that I built based off of Etho's design has been given a makeover and now actually has an exterior. I'm honestly very proud of this build. I pushed myself in multiple ways. It is still very symmetrical, but I really enjoyed the design. I really enjoyed building it. I really just felt like building something when I built this, and I think it worked very well. Inside here, you can see it's also now pretty complete. The doors are left open deliberately, because 3x3 doors, you know, and this place honestly doesn't need to be super secure. The color palette I mainly took from, back in when Etho did Minecraft, he used a lot of this, he used a lot of blue terracotta and, stony gray colors. And I've always found that combination very appealing, so I used it here, cyan concrete, along with deep slate. And also these soul lanterns, because the best thing about lighting in 1.18 is that you don't need to be at light level 8 or above, I think it was, in order to prevent spawning. Light level 1 and above prevents spawning now. And honestly, it is such a benefit because you can actually use light sources like these soul lanterns now. Things like redstone torches are actually useful for preventing mob spawns now, as opposed to before when they were literally useless. It opens up a lot more aesthetic choices, such as this, for being able to make your builds mob-proof, as well as actually look good. So anyway, on to the main stuff for today. You may remember, I think last time in the last episode I had blackstone here, and honestly I've come to not really like it. I don't really like this purple here either. So the first order of business today will be trying to find something that works well here. And in exploring the 1.18 update, which I should probably show you guys what's underneath this build, but anyways, in exploring the 1.18 update, I did find a bunch of dripstone, and I think it looks good as a kind of floor wall texture, but I'm not sure if this is really... It doesn't really seem to be working very well. Maybe, in addition, maybe these stairs here are also causing some problems. I'm going to tear these out, and we'll see what that does. Alternatively, I have two other choices for the bottom here. Smooth basalt is a nice texture, I think. But it looks kind of reminiscent of the blackstone, and honestly, not really sure if I like it very well. The last option I have here is tough. Now, tough actually does seem to work very well with the andesite. So perhaps I could do something like this, around the outside, which looks a lot like a stone sort of Central Park feeling. And then maybe do dripstone around the inside. Oh, and that's a good look too. Maybe I should let's not do dripstone. I'm actually going to do smooth basalt around here. So I did some redesigning, and I finished up the tough floors. I put smooth basalt around this, and I changed this entire thing out to deep slate, and honestly, I think it looks a lot better. With the deep slate walls running up and these nice little arch things, and also a smaller pillar in the center, I think it makes the whole fountain look a lot more elegant. It also contrasts nicely with the white house in the background. I think it'll make a nice view for when you're approaching from afar and you see this sort of dark fountain and then right behind it the magnificent light house. Moving on from that, this entire area out here, I would like to make a sort of royal garden, which is difficult for now because I kind of have stuff here. So I think it's time to move some of this stuff, starting with these sheep. Now, these sheep have been sheared for so long now. I have a bunch of wool stocked up already from them. I have like 2 whole barrels full in my basement. Honestly, I think they've served their purpose now. And while I'm definitely going to need more wool in the future, depending on the projects that I do. I think that's good enough for now, and I can set up a different farm in the future if I really do need it. So, I guess let's just knock this out and let these guys free for once. Whoops. It was an accident, I swear. Alright, so now that I have the space here, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a gravel pathway that goes probably from about here down and around to roughly over here. And maybe it'll branch off a little bit to right here so that I can put nice little like surrounding of flowers or something and put leaves all along the outside of the path leading all the way up here. So let's go get some of that stuff. So, welcome to my little campsite. I hope you like it, because I like it very much. So after I finished the time-lapse, I did finish this entire area. I just had to go and get more materials, and I didn't feel like restarting the time-lapse and editing it together. So, I ended up just gathering more materials and finishing this area. And I quite like how it turned out so far. I'm not completely done with it. I did run out of leaves halfway through, So there are going to be more leaves here overall, but I do like how this area turned out. So I'm gonna kind of show it off. Of course, I have hidden lighting all over the place because I want this area to be nice and well lit during the nighttime. But yeah, you can see these leaves. I stacked them up really high. I did kind of want to give this area its privacy, especially over here. These walls are pretty tall and thick, and that's meant to give some kind of feeling of secludedness, especially when you're like sitting here near the campfire, you know. I don't necessarily want you to be able to. I don't want you to notice this big building in the background. I just kind of want you to live in the moment, you know, that kind of feeling. So, these leaves are going to grow thicker as I gather more. But, the rest of this area here, I do like how it turned out. The leaves are thinner here along the outside edge, which gives you a better view of the water area. So if there's ever anything interesting on this water area, this will be a very nice place to view it from. Of course, the pathway got a little bit spruced up, and as you go over here, you can just go up here and go down from this water fountain area, but that wasn't necessarily my intention, but it's just kind of how things turned out. And of course, we've got a leaf tunnel here, because, you know, why not? Vegetation's great. And having a tunnel of it is like, it's a pretty cool feeling. I've got flowers everywhere, a little rose section here, and in the end, I gave this place some more lighting too, so that it could be well lit as well. And especially from the outside here, this kind of privacy wall really gives the campsite a little bit more. It feels kind of secretive, you know, which is kind of one of the feelings I was going for with it. Even though it's right next to this huge building, it does feel like a little nature area, and that's kind of what I was going for, a very nature appreciative area. But yeah, I think with that being done for today, I think that's pretty much all the time I have to record an episode today. So, yeah. One last note I did want to mention, just like I said earlier, no matter what happens, I'm going to continue this series at some point. I may not have the motivation to record another episode right away, but this world is very precious to me, and I would like to share it with you guys from time to time. So, that's my plan, is to keep doing this whenever I have the motivation, and I would like you guys to join me from time to time. But yeah, I think that's it for today. Thank you guys for watching, and let me do the fancy F5 thing. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.